Evening, ladies and germs. This is going to be part 2 of Mr. Lewis's windshield instruction manual. So if you just finished watching the one before this, you'll remember that I have created the top part of the windshield. So we've hollowed it out. Let's look down at the bottom, make sure it's hollow. Yes, looks good all the way around. You'll also notice that I colored it green, because, you know, why not? That's what color it actually is on the car, so let's actually make it that way. But if we go back to what it's supposed to look like here, let's look at the dimension drawing. It's supposed to have this bottom piece here that extends all the way up into it. So it comes in just this rectangular shape, and it goes all the way back to the top of it here. If you look at the actual instructions, it suggests that you do this with an offset work plate and the shell tool. We're definitely going to need the shell tool, but I don't see any need to do the offset work plate, because all we're really going to need to do, go back to the dimension drawing, let's scroll down to this view, is we just need to make this shape in this plane. All this plane is just the bottom. So all we need to do is find some surface on the bottom of this shell. So let's go down to the bottom face. Oh look, it's the bottom. Let's rotate it around so that it's the same orientation that they have in the picture. That looks right. So I'm going to go and start a new sketch, and I'm going to click the inside surface of this so that it starts me in this frame. Cool. So now our picture matches the dimension picture, so it's going to be easier to draw. Now, on first glance, this is basically just a rectangle. If you look over here at the zoomed in part from B, this is B, it's got these little notches on it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little notches. You can go ahead and just draw the entire shape this way, but I don't really feel like doing that. Instead, we'll just, draw those little squares on there later, and just make this rectangle. Because it's going to be annoying enough to try to dimension where this is in relation to the rest of the shape. Now, I say that, but that's only assuming that you're going to try to make the square to be accurate at the beginning. But we don't need to do that, because we've got dimensions for exactly how far away each edge of this is from the edge of the full thing. This right edge is 0.68 away from the far side. This bottom edge is, if we trace this extension line, 0.29 away from the very bottom. The left edge here is 2.22 away from the far right, and the top edge here is 2.26 away from the very bottom. So we can use those to actually get the square to be dimensioned without actually dimensioning the square itself. Let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to make a rectangle. I'm going to make it deliberately wrong, just so this is more instructive. This is clearly not what it's supposed to look like. But what's going to happen here is once I've dimensioned everything, so let's go from here to the far side. And I already forgot what that was. I believe it was, there we go, 0.68. So 0.68. So it's drug that side over there. And we're going to get the same effect doing all the rest of them. So this side to the bottom, drag this over here, that is going to be 0.29. I need to memorize these. I need to write them down. You all need to do better than I am. Try to memorize these things. Don't have to switch back and forth. Let's dimension finally this to over here. And that's going to look like a 2 point... No. This one. 2.22. Aha. So this dimension is 2.22. Ooh. Here's where I messed up. That is not 2.22 from that side. It is, let's delete that dimension. It is 2.22 from this side. There we go. 2.22. That looks better. Now, finally, from here to the top. No, cancel. That's not what I want. Dimension. I want to go from this line to the top line. There we go. I don't know why I did that a second ago. That's weird. Nope, again, I'm about to make a mistake. I don't want to dimension to the top line. Our dimension lines go from here to the bottom. Almost messed up again. So I want to do this dimension here, if I'm going to do this correctly. So 2.26 goes from dimension here to down here. There we are. So that is a 2.26. Bam. Now, these look pretty good. And I want you to keep in mind here while I have this pulled up. If we were trying to actually have this be good dimensions, you want them like this. You don't want the dimensions on opposite sides like I have these. You'd want this to be down here. So just for the sake of... No. There we go. Now I can pull it. I want to pull that down here. Let's rearrange these. There we go. Now it looks neater, just for the sake of, you know, completion. And for the sake of being a good teacher role model, you know what I'm supposed to do. Alright, so now this is not quite done, because we still need that to look a little bit more, I don't know, round. So this round edge here, if we scroll around and look, is supposed to be... Stop scrolling. Stop. No. That's way wrong. Let's not do that. I lost my pot. Where did it go? Oh, I deleted the windshield. Ah, there it is. It's back. Okay. Now it's black. Now it's black. What did I do? Undo. Ah, okay. Okay, life is weird. Here we go. We're back. Now, as I was saying, if you look at this round here, this little dimension line here tells us that that arc is supposed to be a 0.15, so we're going to fillet that rectangle to be just like that. So let's do the fillet while we're still in the sketch. I'm going to click that corner. I'm going to click that corner, and a corner, and a corner. I've already told a lot of you that you can do that fillet after you do the sketch, but you can also do it during, so you might as well see it both ways. And I want that to be, I already forgot, 0.15. So let's just delete that too. There we go, equal. Enter. All right, so that looks about to be the right roundness. Now, whoops. These little square bits, they have dimensions for where they are located, but they are located by their centers. So notice here, over here on the side, they have a center line on this rectangle. You don't usually use center lines for anything besides circles, but in this case, it makes it easier to dimension to the center, just because it's just more instructive. They can actually line the lines up to be more symmetric, as opposed to dimensioning to just the very corner, which is just as good as far as I'm concerned. I don't mind what you do, but just so you can understand what they're doing here. So this dimension right here that shows where these two notches are, they are at 1.28 from the center of the notch to the bottom. So here's what I'm going to do. Since it dimensions to the center and I'm trying to make these rectangles, I'm going to use a center point rectangle, because this way I can actually make my square with the center point as an option to dimension to. So just for the sake of, I know that this will be weird if I don't, I'm going to move it over here. That's about the right spot. This is way too big, but I'll fix that in a second. So first, let's dimension from this little square to the bottom and make that our 1.28. Bam, now it's in the right spot. And I am going to do a collinear constraint because I want this edge to be right on top of that edge. So that's all that does. So now that's fixed. And finally, since this is not the right shape at all, let's dimension the rest of the square, which needs to be, if I zoom in here, it needs to come out 0.09 from the edge. No, I lied. It is not supposed to come out 0.09. That's from the inside of that shell. The difference here, the width of this whole shell is 0.5. Out to the edge of the little nub is 0.9. So this distance of this rectangle is going to be 0.4 if we subtract those. And then the height of it will be 0.5. So I think you're onto my recording there for a second. I apologize. I'm going to come back to this, and now I'm going to make this be 0.05 tall and 0.04 wide. So let's just hit those dimensions up. So from here to here is going to be 0.04. Enter. And now it's really weird, so let's zoom in on that. And then we'll dimension from the top to the bottom to be 0.05. Alright, now we have our little nub. Just for consistency, let's trim the inside of that, because it doesn't need to be there. Trim both of them. Aha, there, done. Now, I have lost my purple, so I'm going to untrim that just because it seems to be angry that I have trimmed it. So let's leave that alone. We can always just make sure that we extrude that little tiny point when we do the extrusion later. And then, so you need to follow the same process to put the other 5 nubs. Okay. I'm going to assume that you all can do that. Really not that bad. And instead, I'm just going to finish the sketch and go ahead and extrude it. Because we need to be able to make sure that this goes all the way up to the inside as well as down the amount that it needs to come down. So in the picture, it goes down 0.67, and then upward, it extends all the way to the inside of the shell. So here's how I want to do that. When I do my extrusion, I don't want to just do a join. I don't want to just do a cut. I don't want to do an intersect. Okay, I do want to do a join. But I want it to not go one direction or just the opposite direction, but both directions. And I don't want it to be symmetric because that would mean it goes the same amount both directions. So I'm going to do asymmetric. This is the option that I want. So this distance is going to be a... Hang on now. Let's pick a profile first. I want that profile. Zoom in. I also want that profile. Okay, now, this one, let's see which one we're working with here. So this, okay, so this is the one on the left, or sorry, on the right. So this one, I don't want to be a distance. I want it to just be, oh my. Why will this not do what I wish for it to do? This, I don't want you to go here. This one allows me the 2 next option. This one does not. Why? Okay, let's swap these. Flip. Aha, there. Now this one will give me the 2 next option, which will just take it up to the edge of the thingamajigger. And why? Now I want this one, the going down, not to be a 2 next, but to be a distance. And I want that distance to be 0. What was it? 6.7. So 6.7. All right, there. Okay, that should do it. Let's look up in there. It is not going up there. Okay, again, troubleshooting on the fly. Let's check this extrusion, see what we did. I want it to be asymmetric. Ah, there's the other side. So, all right. Here we go. So, send it. Ah, this would be why they wanted you to do the offset work plane, because they want you to draw it down here and then just worry about the 2 next, because it may be very angry about me trying to do a 2 next on one. Yep, see, it's automatically lost my both directions. I want to be able to do 2 next for this one and not 2 next for the other one. So, actually, I can solve this problem. We'll just extrude twice. Let's do a 2 next for this one. Is it doing it? It's not doing it. Hang on. Cancel. Let's undo that. Let's undo that as well. Now, let's extrude this and this. Okay, I promise this will work. We're going to go the other way. And we're going to go do a 2 next. And we're going to say, okay. All right, now that looks fine. It looks like it's doing what I want it to do. It's gone all the way up to the edge. It's not coming out of the top. You can kind of see the little weird outline of it going just to the edge. All right, now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into that extrusion, and I'm going to share the sketch. Now I can use that sketch again. And I'm going to extrude from that sketch, and I'm going to extrude down. There we go. We'll just do it in 2 steps, and then the problem is solved. Okay. So now all we need to do is shell this out, because it comes out both directions like it's supposed to. I don't have my little nub. I need my little nub friend. Control Z. Let's extrude one more time. Make sure that we hit this and that. There we go. Okay, now, as I was saying, let's shell that out. So we'll do a shell on the inside here. And this shell is supposed to be the same as the other one. 0.07 is already filled in. Hit OK. And we have our shelled out windshield. There it is. Okay, that video went a little longer than expected. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. I don't know how to get these dimensions to go away. It's done. If you like my directions, cool. If you like the Project Lead the Way directions, also cool. You're not going to offend me. So hopefully this helped. I'll do the wheel next.